Okay, here's the deal. That was not a fun game yesterday. And this is not going to be a fun recap to do. So, I have the aid of the Pumpkin Nitro aiding me for this review. Look at this lovely piece of deliciousness. I'm going to need it. Gonna need it. Gonna need a lot of it. A lot of it. Pumpkin beer review. No, it's not a pumpkin beer review. It's an Eagles Vikings review. I mean, a pumpkin beer review would probably be better than this recap, but let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the notebook. Let's get into this game, this awful performance by the Philadelphia Eagles. 38-20, they lose. And check out this notebook, man. Check it out. They got up so much. 38-14, right after Diggs beats them deep for a second time. Oh. Atrocious. All right, so let's go down to it. I didn't even finish watching the game yet. I just didn't even feel like dealing with the rest of it. I just got the highlights. I'm here. It was 38-20. It was 77-59 when I stopped scoring, when I got it to 38-20. 1.5 star game. This game sucked. But we're going to talk about it because that's what I do here on the Bitter Birds. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me just get a couple sips in. Hold on. Hold on, one more. Oh, one more. It's a pumpkin. It's a good beer. All right. Oh, I need another sip before I start this. Hold on. Oh, because I remember this play. 3rd and 13. First play right out of the chute. So, Eagles defense has been really struggling coming in on an opposing team's opening drive. This was the 4th time in 6 games that the Eagles defense allowed an opening drive touchdown this season. This was a 3rd and 13. This was a conversion. And here's the thing. It's like the Eagles, sometimes they stay ahead of the chains, but the secondary is struggling so much at this point in time that the 3rd and 13 can be picked up with ease. And that's the opening drive. That's Adam Thielen. And then here we go. The Vikings, they capitalize. This, again, showing Eagles not ready to play coming out of the gate. So here's the deal. Here's what's going on with this play. The Eagles got 10 men on the field. They got 10 men on the field. So we know that they start slow and they're not prepared. 10 men on the field, shuffling in and out. That's Dalvin Cook for a 15-yard gain. Here's Dalvin Cook again. I'm showing this play because Hassan Ridgeway going to get some love. One of the few who balled out yesterday in Minnesota. Check him split this double, get in the backfield. This is the only reason why I'm showing this play, because I got to show Hassan Ridgeway some love. Let's hope I don't start slurring yet. Pumpkin hasn't kicked in. Oh, it might start kicking in, though, after this play. Oh, here's Sidney Jones getting beat in the back right corner of the end zone by Adam Thielen, and the Vikings get the opening touchdown. And this is the point I want to talk about Jalen Mills, all right? Jalen Mills is great in the red zone. He takes a lot of heat. He took a lot of heat last year. Eagles' red zone defense last year was ranked number 1 in the NFL. They allowed all the passing yards, but they were number 1 in the NFL. Right now, they are ranked 18. 18. I'm starting to slur. They're ranked 18. It's not good. It's not good enough. And Sidney Jones gets beat right here. And, man, very, very disappointing game from Sidney Jones. Let's hope he can bounce back, because I'm starting to have a little worries. We'll see about him. All right, Eagles. This is their opening drive of the game. And, you know, there's been a lot also made of the Eagles offense not being able to score. Well, the first possession, they ran the ball 3 straight times. And I didn't hate this call. You could tell they tried to establish a running game in this game. They wanted to run Jordan Howard. And in the 6 games that Jordan Howard had against the Vikings while he was in Chicago, he picked up over 100 yards 3 times. But this 3rd and 2, he's stuffed. They really did try to run the ball yesterday, and I didn't hate it. it's really tough sledding. And obviously, the Vikings got off to a great start. So this is their second drive of the game, and they're going to score more points because they scored touchdowns on 3 of their first 4 drives of the game. And this was the play that really, really irked me with Sidney Jones. Trust your eyes, trust your instincts, make the play, and he's just I don't know. What is this? Come on, Sidney. Come on. I know you're better than this. I know you're better than this. That's weak. All right. Let's go forward here in the possession, 3rd and 8. And this was the play where Adam Thielen couldn't get the feet down. Malcolm Jenkins does just enough there at the end to force that incompletion. Vikings, though, still get the field goal. They still get the 3 points. They're up 10-0. 10-0. All right, here we go. Eagles. This was a good throw here from Carson. This is a stop route. Jeffrey picking up a 2nd and 5 on Xavier Rhodes. And in the first quarter, here we go again. This is another instance. Actually, this is why I wanted to talk about this play. So this is another instance where the Eagles' second possession isn't until the second quarter. Doug Peterson likes to defer and get the ball in the second half, as do a lot of teams. But the Eagles' defense has been so bad to start games that the Eagles are playing from behind. And not only are they playing from behind, they've had to derive from their game plans because they're playing from behind. They got to throw the ball more. They can't run the ball, even though they still tried to run the ball in this game, getting down 10-0. I mean, Carson Wentz, he only had 1 completion in the first quarter. Not because he sucked, but because the Eagles didn't have the ball. So here we go. First down, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz. Not Zach Ertz. What am I talking about? Alshon Jeffrey. Even I'm making mistakes. I'm slurring my receivers. The pumpkin. Blame it on the pumpkin. Oh. Tastes good, though. 2nd and 7. And this is an instance, I wanted to talk about that as well. So the improvisation of Carson Wentz. Now, that was only a 1-yard gain, but this was something that I saw from him yesterday. Escaping the pocket, making plays, and not only making plays, but not taking off downfield, not risking that injury, staying behind the line of scrimmage. And here we go. So this is what I'm exactly talking about. Now, this was a great play by Eric Kendricks to tip that ball away. Now, if you see here, Nelson Aguilar got behind Kendricks in coverage. So you're going to see, here we are. He gets behind him on the scramble drill. Can't really see it, but Kendricks went up to kind of play him, and he couldn't loft it over him, and that sets up the 53-yard attempt that Jake Elliott absolutely drills between the pipes. So the Eagles finally on the scoreboard. Problem, though, the Vikings, they score. And newsflash, breaking news, Zac Brown cut today. Here's part of the reason why he's cut. The other reason why he's cut is because he's been making stupid penalties and talking bad about the opposing team and getting them fired up. Kirk Cousins, the weakest link. You are the weakest link, Zac Brown, of this Eagles defense. No, actually, no, you're not. But you're bad, and that's why you got cut today. You're bad, you stink, and you make bad penalties, and you talk bad about opposing teams. You get the motivator. You get them fired up. You put the bulletin material on the bulletin. And then you let Alexander Madison get wide on you. Zac Brown. Cut. Won't ever have to watch this again in Philadelphia. Let's keep slurring my words, baby. Pumpkin's kicking in. All right. Oh, this play. And look at the protection. Look at the protection. Deep play action all the time in the world. It used to not be like this for Eagles defensive linemen. You take away that 10-sack game against the Jets, Eagles are averaging less than a sack per game. That gives Diggs the time to run that route, get past Rasul Douglas, and that's a touchdown. 3rd and 1. Eagles ensuing possession. And, so a little bootleg. Alshon Jeffrey really got into the game early on. Screen plays Bootlegs running across the formation. All right, here we go. Oh, this is why I wanted to show this. So I'm actually showing a lot of these plays here on this drive because I wanted to showcase the 12 personnel and the different looks that the Eagles were showing out of it. So they get down 17-3. I mean, that's the problem here. It's like they're down 14 points and they're not even given the ability to really get creative until the third drive because the first drive they couldn't convert the 3rd and 2, and then the second drive they got a field goal, but it really wasn't until that drive and this drive here where we saw Carson pass out of the 12, and this was an instance where you had them line up in the backfield as halfbacks. So you'll see them lined up in line, you'll see them lined up in halfbacks, and then the other variation we'll see is lined up in a stack, and you'll see that in my notebook as well as we go through this game. So they were really attacking the flats, were the Birds. Because Vikings, man, it's a stingy defense. They got a great secondary, Xavier Rhodes, lots of depth at cornerback, Mackenzie Alexander, you got Trey Waynes, you got Mike Hughes, got a lot of guys. And they were really attacking the flats with the tight ends and getting after it with Miles Sanders, which we'll see later on in the drive. If this is – actually, no, not this drive, but later on in the game, I should say. This play I'm going to show because I saw this too many times yesterday where Eagles receivers were looking for flags instead of playing the ball. Nelson Aguilar, play the football. Play the football. Good coverage by Trey Waynes. Good coverage. No PI. No PI. And then we got a drop here on 3rd and 2 as we see the tight ends. They're in line this time. The line up to the left. Little two basically hook routes. And Dallas Goedert unable to hang on. 4th and 2. Carson just a little bit high. A little bit high. Jeffrey unable to come down with it. Mike Hughes in coverage. And 4th and 2. Vikings get off the field. And what do? They go right back to Stephon Diggs. And there's absolutely nobody around Kirk Cousins again. So these bootlegs were really fooling the Eagles in the first half. Designed bootlegs. So play actions, bootlegs, there's nobody in front of Kirk Cousins. The pressure from the defensive line didn't start becoming consistent, at least a little bit, until it was 24-3. By that point, it's already it's too late. Here we go. 2 halfbacks. Here we go. Here's that look again, right? And here's Jordan Howard picking his way off the left side. And you can't run the ball out of 12 because you're down by 21 points. Here's the problem. Here's why you can't keep getting off to these slow starts. You're not able to do what you want to do in your game plan. You got to throw the ball. It makes it predictable. 2nd and 3. And this is the zone read keeper by Carson Wentz. And I highlighted this play because I just wanted to say that I feel like Carson Wentz is playing smarter this year, especially the last couple weeks. First couple weeks, I thought he was a little bit reckless, but he's not really taking chances within the field of play and taking defenders on, and I like to see that. 1st and 10 from the 32. This is the touchdown to Miles Sanders. So using Miles Sanders, and here's the look. Here's the look that I'm talking about. Look, check it out. So we got the stacked tight ends tight to the formation, and you're going to have Miles Sanders coming in behind that. And that's what really kind of causes the confusion. So Kendricks gets there late on Sanders, just a little bit late to recognize because, good design here. Picks it up, though. He just runs from behind them. 24-10. So, obviously, Eagles finally on the scoreboard. And here we go. Here's Hassan Ridgeway again, doing his thing in run defense. So, he made a play there. 3rd and 4. And finally, Eagles get some penetration, some deep penetration. Brandon Graham lined up inside. So a little swim move and then rips through Pat Elflein for the sack. Eagles get the ball back. And you kind of feel the momentum start to sway in Philadelphia's favor, down by 14. And you're thinking at this point maybe you can kind of really get this drive going, score it before the half, and then you got the ball again in the second half. But what happens? Anthony Barr makes a great play on first down on Jordan Howard. 2nd and 14, though. Carson Wentz, here we go again. So he's scrambling behind the line of scrimmage, and he's finding open receivers downfield. Alshon Jeffrey, wide open. Another sip of the pumpkin. Tastes delicious. Although not as good as the original pumpkin. It's the pumpkin nitro. 3rd and 10. And, this play. So we see it. So, yeah, there we go. Zach Ertz. The ball gets through him. And, this could have been a PI. Could have been an interference call. And you know what? If you're going to call it on one side, you got to call it on the other, right? So that's an issue here. But the other issue here is, again, stop looking for the flag, play the football, make the catch, and that's what I saw out of Eagles receivers yesterday. They were looking for the flags as opposed to playing the football. This play. Oh, well, thank God that Stephon Diggs was unable to hold that in because it went off his helmet and right into the arms of Andrew Sendejo. Eagles regained possession. Oh, this play. I wanted to highlight this because of Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce makes a nice block here. So he starts here inside. Then he pulls out, and he's able to get just enough of Kendricks to spring Sanders free for the 9-yard gain here. 3rd and 4. I hated this. So we got 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. The only guy on the right is Mac Hollins. And you're going to challenge Trey Waynes with Mac Hollins on that front right corner of the end zone. Not a high percentage throw. There's only 20 seconds left in the quarter, in the half. I get that. But this wasn't the play. That wasn't the play. And this was also not the play. Yuck. So here's post-game, if you're kind of paying attention and you were listening to what the look was that the Eagles were looking for, right? So they're trying to read this defender right here, number 41. Number 41. And the tendency of the Vikings, all right, is for this guy to go this way. But the Eagles weren't able to capitalize because he read the play correctly. So the tendency is for him to go this way. This was something that the Eagles thought they picked up on tape, and it didn't work out for them. Fake field goal doesn't work out. So if he doesn't pick him up, maybe that's a touchdown. But he did pick him up, and it's a stupid call. I hated the call. If you get a field goal there, you're within 11, and you have the opening drive of the second half. You keep the momentum going. Instead, you're down by 14 at the half, and the Vikings have the momentum going into the locker room. So Eagles get first half possession, or second half possession, I should say. Let's dig into the notes here because I'm trying to figure out where I am. Trying to figure out where I am exactly. All right. So first thing we're going to see, this is a deep cross. This is a good throw from Wentz to Nelson Aguilar. This is a 24-yard gain. You see him motion, and here it is. So off the back foot, ball flutters a little bit, but it's right on the money to Nelson Aguilar. So you can see a little bit of pressure that forces Wentz to not be able to step into this. So that's why this is such an impressive throw. So there you are. That's Andre Dillard getting pushed back by Everson Griffin there. I believe, yep. And that was his thing coming out of college was, can he handle the bull rush? Can he handle guys that are a little bit more powerful than him? And at times he was not able to handle Everson Griffin yesterday. Here we go, wheel route, wide open, Miles Sanders making plays in the passing game. So he's had his struggles carrying the football, but making plays in the passing game, getting open on the wheel route. And that sets up the Eagles 1st and goal. 2nd and goal here. Here's Wentz again scrambling, staying behind the line of scrimmage, ad-libbing, and then finding Alshon Jeffrey for the touchdown. All right, here we go. So these are the flags that I'm talking about. Earlier in the game, Zach Ertz wasn't getting the call. Nelson Aguilar wasn't getting the call. But it seemed like the Vikings were getting calls like this. So Sidney Jones gets flagged here on Stephon Diggs, and it was a PI. But this was also the drive where the Vikings committed penalty after penalty after penalty. Hassan Ridgeway in the backfield there, and the Vikings are forced to punt. So they're forced to punt. The Eagles get the ball back. They're only down 7 at this point. And it's not even the midway point of the 3rd quarter. So they wipe this deficit away quickly. And this is the tendency that they have sometimes. They can score these touchdowns in bunches. And they're within 7. And then here's Jeffrey along the right sideline. Great throw by Wentz. Jeffrey, though, unable to stay in bounds. So he veers out of bounds. But still a nice gain here for the Birds as he's inside the 35-yard line. 3rd and 3 for Carson. We saw a lot of this look yesterday. So a little bit of that bunch look with Jeffrey and Aguilar catching screen passes, but that particular instance didn't work. And the Eagles were settled to go for 3. 24-20. And here's Kirk Cousins making a play. Not really known for throwing on the run, per se, all the time. But he makes a good throw here. And this, I remember this catch was made by Johnson. Orlando Johnson, is it? So correct me if I'm wrong, Vikings fans, whoever are watching this. But I thought that he didn't make a catch here. So the ball kind of pops up, and I know if you technically have control of the ball before it hits the ground, it's ruled a catch. But I don't know if he actually had control. Now this play here, man. So the Eagles had this played well all the way around. You look BG here. He doesn't lose his gap contain, not really, a little bit, slightly, but he's there. But he's not able to make the play on Diggs, and then there's Jenkins able to elude him as well, and he gains 8 yards on a play that should have been a loss. It's 2nd and 10 now. Eagles red zone defense, killing them this season. Kirk Cousins finds Stephon Diggs. Back of the end zone, his 3rd touchdown of the game. Craig James is in at this point for Sidney Jones, whether that was for injury purposes or the fact that he stunk. But Craig James was not the answer either. Stephon Diggs makes it 31-20. And then this call. So Eagles try to get back in the game, and they dial up the A-gap blitz, Mike Zimmer specialty at the right time. So this was also right after a 3rd and 4 delay of game where Jason Kelce was unable to snap the ball in time. So Carson Wentz takes the sack here because he had to. There's nothing he could do. Eagles get forced to punt. The Vikings, they go right down the field again, and they put the finishing touches on this football game. Kirk Cousins, wide open. That's Smith. I believe that's the tight end. Down the left sideline. We see a 2nd and 8. It's a big running play. Alexander Madison, as Zac Brown is unable to get off a block, it looked like. Yep, there we go. So there's Kyle Rudolph getting the block on Zac Brown. There's a reason why he was cut, because he stinks. And the Eagles were making a statement. And you shouldn't have said those things about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins threw 4 touchdowns. 4 of them. That's not one of them, but it's a completion inside the 5. 2nd and goal. Ball game. Dalvin Cook. And there you are. There you are. There you have it. That's this game. Vikings and Eagles. Let's finish off the Pumpkin Nitro. Not as good as the regular pumpkin. Not as good. But it got me through this recap. Got me through the notebook. Doug Peterson guaranteed a win today on WIP. Cowboys. Then press conference came around. He kind of backpedaled a little bit. But if he meant what he said on WIP, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Takes the pressure off everybody. Off the players. Takes the thoughts from the fans of yesterday's game, at least away temporarily. Because the focus is now on Dallas. The headlines are now on Doug Peterson. The focus is on Doug Peterson. Big Balls Doug against Little Carrot Jake. His name's not Jason, it's Jake. Because he's got a little carrot. I know he's got a little carrot. Because his name is Jake. Even though his name is Jason. Jason Garrett against Doug Peterson. Big Balls Doug against Little Carrot Jake. This Sunday. Eagles. Guaranteed a victory. It's going to happen. This notebook is over. The pumpkin has officially been completed. I'm leaving. Bye.